Hey guys, Peugeot here. Welcome to another guide. Today I'm going to give you a guide about the training ground. First, we will cover how it works, what are the blessings, what setups you can use, and what rewards do you get. First of all, how it works. This is like an arena or a playground where you can test your skills against other players. You use 6 commanders of your choice against 6 commanders of enemy players. You can attack and other people can attack you, and there is a leaderboard. You can find the training grounds right here. And as you can see, it's basically a leaderboard displaying all players. There are basically 20,000 spots. When you move to a new kingdom, you start from the last spot and you have 5 free attempts per day, but you can buy more if you want to progress faster. Then let's talk about the blessings. As you can see right here on the top left, we have a blessing which is benefiting male commanders. Blessings are basically appearing every week and they can benefit different commanders like male commanders, female, long range or short range commanders, and can give them different benefits like more attack, more health, more defense penetration. So whenever you are choosing what commanders to put in your offense or defense, you will notice they have this little blessing icon if they are currently blessed, or the ones that don't have it are currently not gaining the extra benefit. So always have in mind that the blessings can change the outcome of a battle. That's something that you need to consider when you choose your setups. And speaking of setups, there are two, of course, which are offensive and defensive. Now first let's look at the defensive, which is the more important one. Right here you have these two buttons, attack formation and defense formation. So when you click on the defense formation, you can choose your commander's setup. Now, if you're going to be playing as a free-to-play, first of all, you need to choose 3 commanders on the front line that need to take damage and hopefully to have some stun effect. As you can see, I've chosen Seg, I've chosen Winton and also Gorel. But if we want to look at the free-to-play setup, we will remove the paid commanders, and basically for the front side we need tanks, someone to take the damage, and it's good to have one of each type. So we have a spear tank, we have a cav tank, and for our infantry tank we can choose Chris. He's very strong, he has a stun as well. Now for the backline you want 2 damage dealers and a healer. For the healer I would recommend Simon, he is really good for that, and for damage Shiwa is amazing, and also I would guess OBN. You can put him in the middle, and this is how a free-to-play defense setup can look like. Then if we look at a setup which would be for pay to win, we would need a little bit stronger commanders. Tion is basically everywhere in those setups because he does massive damage because of his skill. The longer he fights, the more damage he does. Then you won't need a healer, but rather you can use Marjorie if you have her. If you don't, you can still use Simon as a pay to win, but if you have Marjorie, definitely use her. She is very valuable. Then another very good damage dealer, that would be Julian. He has a very strong skill, does a lot of damage and can one-shot other commanders. And for our third tank I would choose Seg because he is really very strong and tanky and can survive quite long while your damage dealers are killing the enemy. Also consider that counters work when you're fighting, so that is why I've chosen infantry, and of course the enemy will want to counter it with a cavalry, but then at the back line I have a spear which would counter his attacking cavalry. So have that in mind as well when you're positioning your guys. That's for the defense. Now let's look at offense. Now the offense can vary depending on the opponent, but basically what you can use is something similar. You can use 3 tanks, 2 damage dealers, and of course a healer, or if you have Marjorie. Now as a free to play you can do exactly the same thing that we did before. You can use Sheila, you can use Simon, and you can use OBN. Now for the front line, again, you can use Chris, or some people use Lareo, or even Aria somewhere in the setups, depending on what you like. And of course, as a pay to win, the same story. Always you need Tion, and of course you would want to use Marjorie, attack or defense, she's very good, and Julian for the damage. So basically attack and defense are quite the same for me, in my preference, in my opinion, but of course you would move the commanders like the 2 damage dealers and the 3 tanks so that you can be able to counter the opponent. That's basically how setups work. Now let's look at rewards. There are 2 things I want to talk about. The first one is the diamonds. Now the higher you go in the rankings, as you can see here you have the rankings, they give certain diamond rewards every 3 hours, 8 times a day. So you can see if you are at each of those spots how many diamonds you're gonna get every 3 hours. At the moment I am 44th and I'm getting 150 diamonds every 3 hours, and basically they are piling up and you can claim them whenever you want. If I claim now, I see I need another 1.5 hours until I can claim more. Then the other diamond reward you get is basically every 7 days you get the reward that you currently have multiplied by 5. So 150, if right now the 7 days are up, then I would get 750. That's basically how the diamonds work. Then another very interesting thing that you can get, which is a little bit more cosmetic, and that is an avatar. If you manage to get to number 1 in the training grounds, you're going to get a very nice avatar. This here, rank number 1 in the training grounds. And this avatar is very pretty, and I've used it for a very long time until I got a better one. If you like it, you should definitely go for it so you can get it and show off, so that everybody would know that you've been strong enough to get to the first spot. That is basically the guide for the training grounds. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll be happy to help. For now, have fun in Westeros. See you guys.